Barrister Crystal Ijeoma Chigu in the studio here with us. She's a lawyer and attorney, barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. She holds a bachelor's degree from Louisiana State University in the United States and law degrees from Suffolk University School of Law, also in the U.S., and Lagos Nigerian Law School. She's the founder of and CEO of lifestyle brand We Are Stallion. And welcome to the show, Barrister.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so as we already said, we're talking about trademark and patent regulation. And first of all, would like to establish what is trademark and patent.
So first of all, a trademark is a symbol, a logo, a brand name. It can be a color scheme.
Okay.
It can be a motto or a slogan that a company uses to identify its brand, and a company also uses to sell its products in commerce.
Okay.
Yes, but a patent or a patent is the exclusive rights of a person to use or sell or reproduce or license an invention.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So there's a difference. You know, a patent is strictly used for inventions.
Okay.
Yes. But trademarks are just more broad, more versatile. Yes.
Okay. So what do these protect? What do patents protect? What do trademark protect?
So basically, when a company files a trademark, it essentially is protecting the company's goodwill.
Okay.
It's protecting the company's image. It's also giving the company credibility. If you file a trademark and you're saying that this symbol, this model is directly correlated to our brand, that means that if another company is trying to infringe or pass off as if it's the brand and the consumer doesn't see that model or doesn't see that symbol or doesn't see that color scheme, it would trigger something in the consumer's mind.
Okay.
This might not be the original brand.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's not just about copying the trademark, the logo or something. It's about, you know, how exactly do you pass off as another brand? Take, for instance, I use maybe the same name or same color scheme of another logo, knowing it's not mine, and then I put it out there for to be able to get found or to get seen, maybe when there's an internet search or something. Does that pass off as copywriting, or is that risky?
Very risky. That actually is trademark infringement.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, DHL. We all know that the DHL colors are red and yellow.
Let's try not to mention brand.
Yes.
Sorry. But please go on.
Okay. Sorry, I don't want to mention any brand, but let's say that.
Okay, let's take this tea or coffee logo for an example.
Exactly.
So we have tea or coffee.
Yes.
Written with a certain font. And then, of course, this round, and then there's green. So what happens?
So let's say that this is the most popular talk show in Nigeria. Everybody knows this logo. Whenever you see this logo and these words, tea or coffee, you already associate it with high impact TV. Let's say there's another studio that is trying to just pass off and tag along to the goodwill of tea or coffee. And they're now water or juice. Okay. But they still use green. They use the same color scheme. They use the leaf font. The same font.
But a different name.
That is trademark infringement, especially because they're in the same industry.
Okay.
You know, so if somebody or another company uses tea or coffee, but it's an automobile company, consumers most likely won't be confused.
Okay.
Whether it's the studio or not, because it's two different industries. But you're walking in a risky thin line if you use similar fonts, colors, mottos, slogans, and symbols of a company in the same industry. Yeah.
So what provision does the law have for those that infringe on this patent and trademark?
So basically, if a company realizes that another company or another brand is trying to infringe on their trademark, whether directly or indirectly, they can actually file an infringement suit in court.
Does this hold in Nigeria? Is this something we can do in Nigeria?
It actually is something that we can do in Nigeria. The laws are here. So Nigeria has amazing laws. They're all here. It's all about enforcement.
Okay.
So the question is not, do we have the laws? Is it something that we can do? yes, we can do it. Yes, we have the laws. It's how effectively will it be enforced?
Okay.
And that's the issue we have with our judicial system in Nigeria, enforcement.
Okay, so far, would you say it's popular? Because I think you're trying to say that we don't have enough enforcement. So would you say that trademark laws and patents are popular to a certain extent in Nigeria right now? Like, yeah.
No. I don't think that they are aware that
You can sue for infringement.
yes, that you can actually sue from infringement, but before you sue, you actually have to have it registered.
Okay.
Yes, so that is the importance of registering your trademark. Even though before you actually have it fully registered by the law, you can have it, if you start your company and you start the registration process, but you haven't received your certificate, you actually using your brand in commerce is prima facie evidence that this logo, symbol, or motto belongs to you.
Yes.
Yes. So before you actually have the federal trademark certificates, you still have some kind of ownership with the brand, the logo, symbol.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I've heard of situations where, let's talk about copyright in music now, for instance. I'm just bringing something out of this. So someone sings a particular line and just says, juice is good. That's the line. Sings it in his first song, says it in the second song. And another artist, somewhere random, says, oh, I had a very fantastic cup of OJ yesterday. I'm going to sing about great juice. And then he also says, oh, juice is good. Now, first person says, why are you stealing my line? I mean, that's my song.
Yeah.
Second person says, you do not even own the right to that line. Anybody can say, where is that disparity when it comes to, I suddenly had a brainwave, I had never seen your logo before, but it just almost looks similar. Things like that happen. How do you clarify who is lying or if it is true that it was just pure coincidence? And then how do you move on from there?
Okay, well, coincidence happens. It's actually happened to me. You know, I've had this idea or this brand, and I see it out there, and I'm like, wow, people in this world actually think alike.
Yeah.
You know, so it's possible. So when somebody claims that somebody is trying to infringe upon their trademark, first of all, like I said, you'll look at the industry. Are they in the same industry? So if they are in two completely different industries, the latter company can actually have a case that I don't even know about your industry. I'm in automobiles. You're in agriculture. I've never seen this before. You know, so the agricultural company might have a harder case to prove that this other company is trying to infringe on their goodwill. However, if they're in the same industry, let's say we're both in the automobile industry, and you're using the same colors, the same slogan, the same symbol, then it will be harder to believe that you didn't see my trademark, my symbol at all.
What if it's not the same slogan, but it's almost the same color, almost the same logo, but there are little differences there?
So the court, so then it's up to the lawyers to prove that the average consumer would be confused. Okay. You have to prove that the average consumer will actually confuse my brand for yours.
Okay.
That means that you're indirectly getting publicity based off this confusion.
Your own goodwill.
Yes, you know, you're getting publicity. You're benefiting off of my goodwill because of this discrepancy, this disparity.
Yeah.
So it's about how you can prove it in court, that the average consumer will be confused. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, so still building on that. Now, she made mention about the music industry and the scenario there. What kinds of ideas, concepts, creations, inventions are covered by trademarking and patenting? Now, I'm asking this because that's a line in a song. Is it really covered? Can you really say you own the line? I mean, you can't exactly register a line. So where do you draw the line? What kinds of inventions, ideas, and concepts of a person can be trademarked and patented?
So first of all, for a patent, you have to prove it has to be an invention.
Okay.
So you actually cannot patent a line because it's not an invention. Okay. So a patent has to be an invention, and it has to be something that can be used, even if you're not using it yet. And then also it has to be something that has never been created before. Do you understand? Or it has to be a complete and total improvement to something that's been created before. So let's say a dishwasher that was created 50 years ago, somebody can come out with an upgraded model and patent that. Maybe a more effective way to use dishwasher. But going back to maybe a line in a song, you know, the law, we don't want to restrict the English language. So everybody will say, this is my word, this is my line. I like juice, I drink juice is too generic. You know, you have to be able to prove that this particular line, the average person will associate this line, this phrase with your brand. You know, we all know maybe like O'Shea, baddest. The average person can attribute those two words with a particular person. So if he actually wants to go and trademark that model, I feel like at this point, he can. You know, however, if it's something that just your group of friends say within yourselves, it's not trademarkable. You know, we can't restrict the population from speaking, you know, and writing, and even thinking. You know, it has to be, the average person has to be able to associate that word, that slogan with you.
So, Crystal, let me paint a scenario to you. Now, I have a brand, a logo, color scheme, everything, and then I forget, or I peradventure, I do not register it. I don't register it, and then someone else comes up with the same thing and then registers it. But I had it first. So can I actually sue that person?
You actually can.
Okay.
Because I think I mentioned earlier, even if you haven't registered yet, but you're using it in commerce, that is prima facie evidence that this is associated with your brand. So it happens. You haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe you haven't had proper legal guidance. You know, it's not fair that because you haven't been able to federally register your trademark, but you've had immense success, you've had publicity, that somebody else can just come and register it before you.
What if no one knows you?
Exactly.
But then after the person comes, you know, with his own idea that is similar to yours and is registered, then it becomes something everyone knows. Do you have a case?
Well, so, you know, it's not black or white. That's the thing with the law. Not everything is black or white. You would have to prove that the average person
would attribute it to you.
Would attribute it to you.
And if you can't?
And if you can't, then most likely you will lose the case.
Wow. Okay, so if someone does that kind of thing without genuinely the person did not know that you had it, what is the penalty on that person? Even if it is proven that this is attributed to you, but I really did not know, and I went ahead and did it, so what's the penalty I would have to pay?
So if the latter person genuinely didn't know that they had a similar trademark to yours and registered it, but so is the first person, are they known or not known? That's what I'm asking.
Well, fairly, maybe not so popular, but a certain amount of people can attribute that to you, but not everyone. So I don't know, and then I go ahead and create my own brand, but then it's infringing on yours because it's probably the same thing or very similar to yours. I genuinely do not know what's the equity there.
Well, first of all, before he actually gets his trademark registered, there's actually a search that must be done. So he'll go to a lawyer will search, and most likely if it's a good lawyer, the lawyer would see your brand out there. And then he or she will most likely advise his or her clients to not proceed, you know, or to change some things. You know, that's why you have to do your due diligence as a brand to search, because it's also not good enough to say, oh, well, I didn't know. You know, I didn't know. Yes, ignorance is not an excuse of the law. So it's not good enough. You, as a human, as a brand, you have to do your due diligence. If it's something that just your group of friends say within yourselves, it's not trademarkable.